I finally cracked under the pressure and agreed to a corporate marriage with my childhood nemesis. I thought we'd just live our own separate lives, but when Lucas crept into my bed at midnight and I kicked him off, he lost it. Stella, could you at least pretend to care? I was stunned. Care about what? Wasn't this a corporate marriage? Before we go any further, subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're tuning in from in the comments. I've had a childhood nemesis, Lucas. From day one we were like oil and water. Of course, we were classmates from kindergarten straight through senior year. He got straight A's, self-disciplined and ambitious, every teacher's pet. I was the troublemaker who drove those same teachers to early retirement. We finally split ways after high school. I applied to Riverdale, and he accepted early admission to Hudson. After college, I stayed on at Riverdale for grad school. Lo and behold, he applied to the same program. Different departments, but every random run-in turned into a passive-aggressive roast. Lucas teased me. Professor, he told me your thesis is coming along nicely, still half-baked, like that wild mushroom hot pot you love chatting over? He was mocking my undercooked dissertation. My face went coal-black and I fired back on the spot. Yeah, well, I can't compete with one of the 4 geniuses born out of every 1,000. Roughly 1 in 250. By the time I'd fought my thesis to a bloody draw and moved back home, dear Mom and Dad announced they were shipping me off into a corporate marriage. And the groom? Lucas, of course. Might as well gift me to the Huns like some ancient princess. Exactly the same. Obviously, I refused. I dropped to my knees on the spot, wrapped my arms around Eleanor's legs and wailed, "Mom, I'm your only biological daughter." She peeled my hands off without a shred of pity. Lucas hasn't objected. What are you even complaining about? In her book, Lucas was perfect, handsome, top grades, already running the family business in college, management genius. Unlike me, the trust fund oxygen consumer who'd burn through the empire if given the keys. I brushed off my pants and jumped up. If he's that amazing, aren't you afraid he'll siphon everything into his own account? She shot me a look. She'd already thought of that. Relax. Lucas has integrity, unlike your crooked little head. If you're scared, hurry up and give me a grandchild to train from birth. Me. Mom trusted Lucas completely. She considered me a lost cause. What she really wanted was a fresh air, version 2.0. Before I could argue further, Richard spoke. Marry, and your allowance triples. Suddenly I had nothing left to say. Triple, so I'd net $10 million a month. It was just getting the marriage certificate. No one demanded instant babies. If it didn't work out, we could always divorce. As for Lucas, I figured he felt the same. He couldn't possibly want this marriage. He'd hated my guts since we were kids. The idea of him actually wanting me was pure fantasy. That night, right after I'd showered and blow-dried my hair, Lucas WhatsApped me. Come outside. I'm at your back gate. I couldn't be bothered to change. I threw on a coat and walked down. 10 o'clock, not exactly early. The starless sky made his red sports car glow like a stoplight at the curb. I spotted the show-off from a mile away, tall frame leaning against the driver's door. Maybe because the engagement felt real, my stomach fluttered. Spit it out, it's late. His face gave nothing away as he opened his mouth. Uncle Richard says you've agreed to the wedding? I looked away and nodded. Yeah, you have a problem with that. A tiny voice in my head wondered. Was he forced into this? Is that why he drove over? Lucas pressed his lips together, tone flat. No, works for me. Setting feelings aside, the merger made perfect business sense. The Hawthorns and the Van Cess were already intertwined, perfect match. He pulled a velvet box from his pocket and handed it over. I blinked, took it. That all? He shook his head. Day after tomorrow, don't be tardy. I've got a board meeting right after we get the marriage certificate. He dragged me into the night breeze for this? I twitched a smile and couldn't resist. So sorry to inconvenience your highness. Lucas laughed, dripping sarcasm. Well, someone had a record of tardy slips all through school. I rolled my eyes and jogged back inside. No way I'd be late. Not when obscene wealth and triple allowance waited. Nobody dumps a winning lottery ticket. Out of curiosity, I opened the box. A low-key but massive diamond engagement ring. Nice. I was Googling which finger when Lucas texted again. Left hand, ring finger. Show off. I've never dated. How would I know? The night before the license appointment, I thought my heart would explode. It raced, I tossed nonstop. The whole thing felt surreal. Me marrying Lucas? Next morning the maid woke me. Miss Hawthorne is downstairs. So early. I kipped up, washed, full face makeup. In a white sundress, I reached the staircase just as I heard him chatting with my parents in the living room. Mom beamed, then spotted me and froze. Speed it up. Look how early Lucas is. I gritted my teeth, gave a sheepish grin. The jerk woke at dawn just to get me scolded. Lucas was, and always will be, my walking negative report card. I slid into his passenger seat. Summer air, thick and hot, whipped my hair. From the corner of my eye I studied Lucas. Sunlight carved his profile, cool, aristocratic. If he'd just stopped talking, he'd be premium eye candy. My thoughts drifted. The ceremony's set for autumn, but I keep expectations low. Corporate marriage, everyone knows the drill. A few years from now we might file for divorce. Plenty of friends married young for alliances. Basically a marriage in name only. They fool around discreetly. As long as no one flaunts it, eyes stay shut. The games they play make Vegas look tame. Whether Lucas plays I can't say. I've never seen him date, but who knows? Maybe he keeps a side piece tucked away. We hit rush hour when a blue sedan suddenly cut in. Lucas braked hard, inches from impact. I lurched forward. His arm shot out and stopped me, palm square on my breast. For eyes, dead silence, maximum awkward. No expression on Lucas, but a faint flush climbed his cheeks. My ears burned. I looked down. His cool, slender fingers pressed through thin fabric, body heat seeping into my skin. Honk! The car behind snapped us back. Lucas snatched his hand away and drove on. The ghost warmth lingered, a fizzy itch under my ribs. At the next red light he coughed and glanced over. I stared at my phone, playing ostrich, afraid to meet his eyes. So awkward. In the past, I would have slapped him hard and called him a pervert. But we're about to get the marriage certificate, and it wasn't on purpose. Lucas kept staring at me, coughing nonstop. Ahem, ahem. I looked up, confused, and fixed my gaze on the mole on his neck to dodge the awkwardness. Something wrong with your throat? Go see a doctor when you're free. The coughing stopped. 2 seconds of silence. I didn't mean to. Don't get the wrong idea. I know. He definitely doesn't think of me that way. We were born to be enemies. Fighting as kids, sniping at each other as adults. What kind of decent guy yanks a girl's hair? In Lucas's head, I'm probably not even female. Back in high school, when the dean of students cracked down on high school dating, they found an anonymous love letter in Lucas's desk. I got summoned to the office, expecting to be interrogated as a suspect. Instead, the dean wanted me as a witness. His first sentence was, "You and Lucas are buddies. Do you know which girl he's been hanging out with lately?" My scalp tingled at the thought of girls around Lucas. No exaggeration. They queued from the classroom door to the school gate. Every day someone begged me to deliver a love letter. I was sick of it. Not wanting to make enemies, I gave the dean 4 words. Too many to count. After that, my life stayed quiet for a while. Lucas, on the other hand, glowered at me every day. Puffed. I only trimmed some of his peach blossoms. No big deal. So petty. Afraid he'd tattle to my mom about me dozing off in class, I quietly collected more girls' love letters and stuffed them into his bag. Fine, I won't block your fish pond. Who knew that petty jerk would turn around and rat me out anyway? I spent the entire break stuck in summer cram school. To convince me it was innocent, Lucas repeated himself when we reached the courthouse. The break was sudden, it was pure reflex. Once was enough, but he said it twice? If I threw a fit, I'd look like the small one. I waved a hand, breezy and detached. Small deal. We're adults, a little friction is normal. Normal? I have no idea. Ask Lexi, she's the expert. I spent every winter and summer break in cram school and every weekend gaming at home. No time for romance. Lucas's step faltered, and I slipped ahead to grab our number. Fine, I'm petty. Being alone with him feels weird. Those long, knuckle-sharp fingers of his keep flashing through my mind, freaky. Calm down, Stella. It was just a clothed brush. You're a grown woman, don't overthink it. After a pep talk, I leveled myself and, with Lucas, got the marriage certificate. I still needed that paper to cash in the promise my dear old father made. Lucas had driven me here, and I remembered he had a 10 o'clock meeting. I wasn't shameless enough to ask for another ride, so I opened my ride-hailing app. Lucas's voice rose behind me, cool and sudden. Rushing off, got plans? Rushing home to demand my money. My finger hovered on the booking screen. Nothing. I'll grab a cab home. I thought I heard a soft snort. He reached over, snatched my phone and darkened the screen. Home. I'll drive you. Huh. Doesn't he have a meeting? Startled, I looked up. He stood close. I caught a faint whiff of his cologne. Not one to fake modesty. I figured if he's late, that's on him. Free chauffeur. Why not? I yanked open the passenger door and settled in. I'd slept later than a dog last night and risen earlier than a chicken this morning. The moment the car moved, I dozed off. When I woke, 40 minutes had passed. I stared at the unfamiliar house, dazed. Lucas, where did you park? He thumbed his phone at lightning speed, tone flat. Your place. Door code's my birthday. Then the jerk shoved me out. The red sports car roared away, leaving exhaust in my face. Wait, did he just drop me at our new marital mansion? I headed toward the door, only to realize I couldn't recall his birthday. Damn, Lexi texted. Tonight, yes or no? Same spot. The sun was brutal. I wasn't in the mood. I answered at random. Do you know Lucas's birthday? Lexi replied instantly with a string of question marks. You finally lost your mind? Gonna buy him a gift? Everyone in our circle knows our deal. I'd prank Lucas before I'd gift him anything. Sweat beaded on my back. My lips were parched. Craving AC, I typed faster. No, we got the marriage certificate. The house passcode is his birthday, and I forgot. The typing bubble pulsed, then nothing for 5 minutes. I opened our chat to ask him directly, but Lexi called. You married who? Lucas. The Lucas I know. I lowered the volume. That's not the crisis. I'm locked out and melting. Lexi's brain spins faster than mine. Check his ID number on the certificate. I got in. The living room was spotless, clearly a brand new nest. Upstairs, I picked a door at random. Looked like the master suite. Inside, another door led to the walk-in closet. Lucas's clothes on one side, empty racks on the other. A pastel pink box in the corner snagged my eye. The cutesy wrapping clashed hard with Lucas's vibe. I flipped the lid and instantly regretted it. Uptight plays dirty. Inside lay a see-through lace negligee and several boxes of condoms. One box was already open. Holy socks, shoes, and second uncle, used. An empty wrapper lay inside. My face burned as I shoved the box back. The nightie smelled of detergent and had no tags. Had he used that too? With whom? The side piece he keeps? Probably right on that bed, doing unspeakable things. I backed out and holed up in a guest suite instead. I couldn't stand that room. Of course, my phone buzzed then with a text from Lucas. Guilt nearly made me drop it. His cool voice seemed to echo in the empty house. I told Mom and Dad. Someone will drop your things this afternoon. I pictured those black silk scraps and his long fingers mortified. Have them put everything in the guest room. I'm not sleeping in the master. Corporate marriage, no feelings, those are the rules. But I'm a book nerd virgin who's never dated. I'm curious, hopeful. If nothing happens, fine. If something does, great. Now, forget it. I'm not as generous as I thought. I can't sleep where he slept with another girl. Lexi had planned a night out. After hearing I'm legally hitched, she's on her way over to grill me live. Beep! Outside the lakefront mansion, a pink Maserati announced its arrival. I escaped the house and dropped into the passenger seat. Lexi floored it. Her style was the polar opposite of Lucas's. On the road, I gave her the short version of the saga. She yelped again and again. Holy sh. A certain plant. I left out the part about the lace negligee and the condoms I'd found in the walk-in closet. Lucas had collected plenty of dirt on me. This was the first time I'd grabbed dirt on him, and I would guard the secret like a dragon. Next time he ran to Mom, I'd make him pay. Screech, this Monday was shaping up solid black. Lexi's love of brake checks hadn't changed. The tires left a long, angry streak. I pitched forward, the belt yanking across my chest so hard I saw stars and wanted to curse. Can you retake driver's ed? She laughed twice. Nope. I settled back in the seat and wondered if Lucas's wandering hand this morning had actually been necessary. Hand, huh? I cursed myself silently. Wake up, Stella. That hand has probably traced God knows how many perfect curves. Filthy. My face had been cycling through blush, scald, and inferno since morning, and the fever was spiking again. The car sat idling. I felt Lexi's stare, hot, weird, downright perverted, locked on my breasts. I slapped my arms across my chest. What are you doing? Lexi shifted her gaze to my liver-colored cheeks and cackled like a true deviant. Stella, I just realized you're stacked. Sexy, round, premium. Me? She's deranged. Knowing she'd crossed into sensitive territory, she lowered her voice. You and Lucas got the marriage certificate. How are you sleeping tonight? My heart jackhammered. Sudden death felt one beat closer. Well, corporate marriage. Separate beds, obviously. Lucas's taste is way too heavy for me. The thought still makes my skin crawl. Lexi gave me an "I got you" nod, then swerved onto a different street. A lingerie boutique. Not your average boutique. So her "I got you" was not the "I got you" I meant. Rows of risque, one-of-a-kind designs blurred my vision. The sales girl chirped that custom pieces were available for special requests. Me. Lexi smirked and shoved a hanger at me. How about this? Instant kryptonite for that 30-year-old virgin Lucas. By coincidence or cosmic malice, it was a black lace negligee, 9/10 identical to the one hanging in Lucas's closet. I pushed it back on the rack. Not the garment, the color. Only today did I learn I have emotional OCD. The thought of sleeping in something another woman wore makes my stomach turn. Same for Lucas. Lexi missed my shutter, swapped in a purple one. This one. Smoking hot. The teddy burned my fingers. A nearby girl snagged the black piece I'd rejected and asked her friend, "What do you think? He liked the black last time." Then buy another. Hawthorne's paying anyway. Hawthorne. Neurons fired like a down power line. My brain screamed Lucas. I sized her up. Chestnut waves, delicate face, gentle doe eyes, pure grace incarnate. Her friend sighed enviously. Lucky witch. I wish I could land a Hawthorne prince. The words Hawthorne soured my stomach. Because the only Hawthorne prince is Lucas. She's exactly his type. Freshman year Lucas's face and grades made him instant royalty. Hanging around him turned half the female population against me. Stella, back off, understand? Think he'd ever look at you. Your grades blow. Stop dragging him into tutoring your pizza face ugliness. Adolescence left scars. The acne's long gone, but the memory isn't. I still see the hallway scene at sunset, Lucas and Veronica, golden hour lighting them like a poster couple. Veronica had the same long hair, the same sweetness, the perfect transcript. A girl like that deserved Lucas. Lexi's mouth flattened. She started forward to claw the stranger's face off. I caught her wrist, she twisted, mouthing, "What gives? I'll shred her." Long lashes hid the dull ache in my eyes. Lexi, corporate marriage is business, no feelings. A scene hurts both families. Lexi went quiet. Finally she piled 5 negligees on the counter, all my size. Dresses on me. Hot guys on me. Might not outrich Lucas, but they'll be cleaner. Downtown, the junior assistant swore her boss's mood was wilder than the weather. 1 second sunshine, next second his phone blinked and thunderclouds rolled. Inside Lucas's office the air pressure dropped. When Chase slipped in, the assistant tiptoed out. Chase spotted the wedding band and raised a brow. Got the girl, why the funeral face? Because he only had her body. Stella's head was elsewhere. She'd actually requested the guest suite. Lucas exhaled thinly. It's fine. Tiny glitch. No rush. Years of bromance told Chase everything. He tossed out veteran advice. Sometimes you sprint. Whine a little. Worst case, just crawl into her bed. Lucas's looks plus a little shamelessness would have sealed the deal years ago. Chase knew Stella wasn't armor-plated like his own wife. Lucas frowned and shot back, ice cold. I have pride. I don't do trash moves. Chase, professional bed crawler. Pride doesn't keep you warm, wives do. Lucas wasn't stupid. Wife beats pride. But Stella's missing a critical brain wire. Leap into her bed and she'd assume demon possession. He played the long game. 20+ years down, a few more minutes won't kill him. Wait for the idiot a little longer. I'd been single forever, but not desperate enough to pay for company. Lexi and I tore up the rooftop bar until the skyline blurred. Then I tottered home with a bag of scandalous bedtime props. My head spun. What was Lucas's birthday again? Wrong code. Wrong code. Wrong code. On the 4th try the lock clicked. Not my doing. Lucas stood in the foyer, half his face lost in shadow, voice low and lethal. Stella, why didn't you pick up? I reeked of vodka, brain in soft focus, eyes glassy. He banded an arm around my waist and hauled me inside. The door thudded shut, darkness swallowing us. His shower-fresh scent collided with my alcohol cloud. Sober hit like cold water. Chest to chest, my back against cool marble, desire and panic tangled. His warm breath brushed my cheek. Outraising hell the minute we're husband and wife. Pretend I'm invisible? My heart gave a violent thump as Lucas's face moved closer. The hand he'd slipped around my waist turned hotter. In the cramped space the air thickened with something dangerous, and I couldn't clear the barrier in my head. I twisted away from his kiss. And no, we can't. Lucas froze. I shoved him in a panic, clutching the bag in my hand, and bolted back to my room. After that wake-up call, I shoved the lace negligee Lexi had given me under the bed. Lexi's favorite saying echoed in my ears. Once the lights are off, every guy's the same. We'd had our names on the marriage certificate for 2 weeks, but we'd barely met face to face. He left for the office at 8. I slept until noon. He turned in at 10. I was still gaming at midnight. Then came the day of the high school reunion. At 2 in the afternoon, I shuffled downstairs in my pajamas, hunting for food. The fridge held nothing but green vegetables. Disappointed, I shut the door, stepped back, and my thin t-shirt collided with a wall of muscle, Lucas's chest. I jumped. He looked down, eyes dark and cold. "Fix your schedule or I'm calling Mom." Me? He's a grown man and he still tattles? I skirted around him and dropped onto the living room sofa. Ever since that night, my gaze kept drifting to his mouth whenever he spoke. Lucas sat beside me. In the vast room, we were the only 2 living creatures. The silence was suffocating. Suddenly he spoke, face blank. "I'm going to the reunion with you tonight." I nodded and scrambled for small talk. "You're not working today?" "Nope." 2 icy syllables, conversation over. The awkward atmosphere smothered me. I ordered takeout and fled to my room. I could swear Lucas had been staring at me all day, his gaze hotter and deeper than usual. Something was off. At dusk he knocked. He'd swapped his suit for casual clothes. The softness made me flash back to high school Lucas, who dressed like that every day. I put on light makeup and a pale blue floral sundress. Ready. As I passed him, he caught my wrist, eyes narrowing. "The ring?" He meant the wedding ring. I'd slipped it on once, then left it on the dresser. "It's on the vanity. I'll go put it on." A ring states a status. Since we'd entered a corporate marriage, we might as well milk it for full value. Besides, the gossip circuit still didn't know we were married. No wonder Lucas insisted on coming tonight. I'd spent the last 2 years at Riverdale and had skipped every reunion. Aside from Lexi and 2 other girls, I'd lost touch with everyone. The venue was royal. Just before we pushed into the VIP lounge, Lucas laced his fingers through mine. Holy SH, Lucas brought a girlfriend. And she's gorgeous. "Lucas, long time no see. This must be Lucas, right?" "Lucas, not fair, showing off the second you walk in." Amid the catcalls, my breathing sped up. I stared at the floor, palms damp with sweat. At least I wasn't breaking out anymore. Once the noise died down, I slid onto the couch next to Lucas. But within minutes, some old classmates hauled him away to reminisce. Lexi was stuck in traffic, so I sat alone, self-conscious and twitchy. I told Lucas I was running to the restroom. Inside a stall, I overheard whispering. "Stella bailed again?" She used to follow Lucas everywhere. "She's too scared to show that face. Acne City, remember?" She actually had a decent body then, could have been a backview bombshell. But sophomore year, she got sick, took steroids, and ballooned. They all snickered in unison. The memories smothered me. My throat tasted bitter. I opened my mouth but couldn't push out a retort. A sharp voice cut through. "We're all women here. Pimples and weight gain happen. Grow up." It was Veronica. Still radiant, now with a surgeon's poise, even prettier than in high school. One girl snapped back. "Stop playing saint. When Lucas slipped you that love letter, you acted all high and mighty, then got rejected when you confessed after graduation." Lucas had written Veronica a love letter? So he really had liked her. "Lucas is married now. Your regrets are pointless. What Lucas and I had is none of your business. We're talking about ugly duckling Stella. Why butt in?" I couldn't hide any longer. I shoved the door open and sucked in a breath. "It's not Veronica's fight, but you're trash-talking me. So shut your mouths." Their faces froze, then contorted in shock. "You're Stella? But you're Lucas's wife." I'd always been a coward about the past, ugly, loud, unworthy of shining Lucas. My heart hammered, but my voice held. "I'm Stella, and Lucas's lawfully wedded wife." They blinked, then burst out laughing. "Wow, the swan, plastic surgery much?" Veronica and I tag-teamed them. The hallway exploded in shouting. I realized politeness was wasted on these hyenas and all fear evaporated. "Speaking of love letters, every one of you had me deliver one to Lucas. They're still in a box at my place. Want me to post them in the group chat for a read-along?" Kidding, I'd trashed the letters years ago, but watching them squirm was priceless. We ended up storming off in opposite directions. Veronica returned to the lounge. My mood crashed. I texted Lucas a lame excuse and bailed. Lexi had just screeched into the parking lot when I barreled out. "I just got here. Why are you fleeing?" I poured out the bathroom fiasco. "I can't face them. I don't want to breathe the same air." Lexi cursed a blue streak, yanked me back into her car. "Those witches deserve mouth rot. Come on, big sis is taking you somewhere fun." The city lights blurred as royal, and my shame fell behind. My phone buzzed. Expecting Lucas, I found instead a flood of photos from the mean girls. In every shot, Veronica and Lucas stood inches apart. He'd bent to hear her, eyes locked on hers as if no one else existed. He had loved her, of course talking was harmless. Yet jealousy, envy, and a sour ache I couldn't name flooded me. My eyes stung and I started to cry. Lexi glanced over, saw the screen, and floored it toward Elysium. "Plenty of fish, babe, stop the waterworks." I left my phone in her car. We booked a VIP lounge and ordered 8 event entertainers, massages, cards, flattery. Beer after beer slid down. Lucas evaporated from my head. If he can keep a side piece, I can fill a harem of pretty boys. Then Lucas stormed in, face like thunder, to find me fanning cards while a circle of gorgeous guys chanted, "Queen Stella, take my money." His voice was ice cold, anger swirling in his eyes, the curve of his lips more terrifying than any snarl. The event entertainers were born survivors. The second they sensed trouble, they melted away. Lucas flung the cards from my hand, pinched my chin between his fingers, and snarled, "Stella, you really know how to push it." I was too drunk to remember much after Lucas threw me over his shoulder. According to Lexi's play-by-play, he nearly tore Elysium apart that night. 2 in the morning, I woke up. The heat woke me. The AC was off. I was still in the same blue floral dress, sticky with sweat. I didn't bother trying to recall how I'd gotten home. The whole night felt like a fever dream. I grabbed fresh pajamas, showered off the alcohol haze, cranked the AC, and crawled back into bed. Half asleep, I felt a vine wrap around my waist, tightening until I couldn't breathe. Something hard and wooden pressed against my back. Irritated, I kicked back hard. Thud. The dull sound of a body hitting the floor jolted me upright. In the moonlight spilling through the window, I could just make out a silhouette on the carpet. Tisk! The voice was familiar. My heart slipped back down from my throat. I tested, "Lucas?" The lump on the floor didn't answer. He clicked on the bedside lamp instead, the white glare brutal in the darkness. I squinted at his face, definitely Lucas. What was he doing in my room in the middle of the night? Up to no good? He frowned, annoyance written across his features. Why the interrogation lamp? Am I under arrest? I twisted the dimmer higher, deliberately leaving the overhead lights off. Exactly. State your business in my bed, counselor. We weren't kids anymore. I'd known what he wanted since the night he'd pinned me against the foyer wall. The man who never blushed was actually flushing. His voice softened, completely shameless. We're lawfully wedded. Sharing a bed is standard operating procedure. Had the devil possessed him, or was he just that hard up? He must be starving if he was scavenging in my bed. I glowered, anger threading my voice. I'm not sleeping with you. Take your appetites to your side piece, count me out. Lucas looked momentarily blank, then stood, face grave. What side piece? Spell it out. On the floor he'd been distant, standing he towered. At 6'2" he made my neck ache when I looked up. What's to spell? I saw everything in your walk-in closet. Lace negligées and an almost empty box of condoms. His face flamed, his breathing rough. You opened it? Of course I had. And I knew the box was nearly gone. My confidence surged. Not only that, I ran into your side piece outside. She told me Hawthorne Airs have a favorite brand. Lucas's frown eased. He sat on the edge of the bed with a short, incredulous laugh. Stella, do you even have a heart? You think I'd pull a stunt like that? That's Logan's handiwork. Logan, Lucas's cousin, was a stranger to me, but rumors had traveled. Back in grade school, I'd been the bottom of the class. He'd been second to last. But the box was open. It couldn't. Knowing Lucas's germaphobe streak, he'd never let Logan entertain girls here. The smirk vanished. He edged farther onto the bed. Yeah, I used them. Before I could pounce, he volunteered. I'm a normal man. Taking care of business solo is allowed, sweetheart. He dragged out the last word until my ears burned. The pajamas smelled washed. I washed them. Couldn't wear them dirty. The image of his elegant hands scrubbing lace almost short-circuited my brain. He crossed his legs on the mattress, heat flickering in his eyes, pinning me down with a look. Any other cross-examination questions? You ever write Veronica a love letter? Never. Quit believing locker room gossip. And for the record, she never confessed to me either. She liked chase, got turned down. I spotted my phone, left in Lexi's car, on the nightstand, thumbed open my photo gallery and showed him. His mouth flattened, expression glacial. The club was loud. We were talking about you. Me? Yeah. The restroom catfight, and the fact that I'm crazy about you. He said it as casually as commenting on the weather. The man had definitely been possessed. I was already Googling exorcists when his arm slid around my waist, hauling me back against his chest. No ghost. Just love. My vision blurred, my whisper wobbled. Lucas. I was hideous in high school. His fingers traced slow circles on my skin. Not as hideous as the time you sicked your dog on me. Me. The tears that had been ready to fall snapped right back. I jabbed backward with my elbow. He caught my arm, resting his chin on my shoulder. I haven't billed you for the Elysium stunt, and you're already assaulting me. Remembering those wild, foolish hours, I swallowed a gulp of guilt. He rolled me onto my back, pinning my wrists, voice silk. Wife, may I? Something hard nudged my thigh. Before I could answer, he released me and strode out. He just left. Was Lucas actually unable to seal the deal? 10 seconds later he returned, pink box in hand. Mystery solved. His gaze swept under the bed, panic spike. He'd found the box I'd hidden, laughing under his breath. Stella, didn't peg you for the prepared type. I yanked the duvet and burrito rolled myself. Speak for yourself. If that's how you're going to be, get out. He climbed in, stripped the covers in one move, and caged me. Hawthorne licensed to thrill, ready to perform conjugal duties? The sensors yanked the disc, so fade to black. Lucas is a quick study, in every subject. I slept until evening. When I woke, every stick of furniture, minus bed and pillows, had vanished. While I'd been out cold, he'd relocated our lives to the master suite. 6 months later, our wedding kicked off on schedule. Mom and Dad held Lucas's hands, calling him perfect son, between happy tears. I felt like the free gift with purchase. After smiling at 400 guests, we finally got home near midnight. I was stepping out of my heels in the foyer when Lucas slipped an arm around my waist, voice rough velvet. Wife. Predicting the play, I pressed one finger to his lips. Not tonight. He scooped me up barefooted, my abandoned stilettos clattering behind us. I shot him my best glare. Lucas. He kissed my forehead, carrying me into the bathroom. Midnight's passed. Yesterday was a no-go, so today is fair game. Damn the man.